Welcome to the I Own It podcast with Ben Reinberg.
Well, we are live in studio today at the Ben Reinberg I Own It studios, and what a week we're having. We have an incredible guest today. She's an entrepreneur, a coach, a mentor, just an incredible dynamic woman that I get to talk to. And Inesa Ponomariovaite, welcome to Laguna Beach. I love having guests in studio. It makes it such an incredible experience, and I just want to welcome you to our show. And I am so excited to talk to you because you have so much knowledge and experience in what you do, and you have such a great message to share with the world. And I am so grateful you're here. Everyone, she is from my hometown in Chicago, which I love, and she's a hometown girl, and she came to California and to spend time with me at the studio. And so, Inesa, thank you so much for joining us, and welcome.
Thank you so much for having me here today. And I think just being in the studio, also learning about you and your passions and how you're trying to impact the world, I think it definitely makes sense to be here. And it's a journey to learn you and your journey, how you're trying to make the difference. So my honor, and thank you so much for having me here today.
So let's get into it, okay? I was wondering, let's start talking about your mom, because your mom is near and dear to you. My mom is near and dear to me, so this really touched me. Her impact on you, her values, her sacrifice, passion, work ethic, also her health journey, which has been a significant part of your journey. How did that darkness actually alchemize to your professional mission?
Yeah, I think it's a great question. You're right on spot. So my mother, when you look in America, and for example, I never had to really experience my mom the way most children do. So she had to work really hard to make the living and to provide the best she can for us children. So sadly, back home in Lithuania, we never had that very strong bond. We loved each other, we cared about each other, and she tried her best, but she used to go away and leave us. And I was basically placed as a mother, as a 12-year-old, to raise my brother and sister. So again, it was a little bit different childhood than most people out there, but I loved her always unconditionally. And she taught me certain values like never steal, never lie, don't cheat. So it was great, and today it's paying off because of those values and integrity that she actually built in me with that short period of time she had with me as a mother. So again, it was a very tough childhood, and it wasn't easy to be in that spot. So today I feel like my relationship that I was missing in a childhood has kind of started recovering in these days. So starting from there, and my mom's journey itself when she got the cancer, I think anything in life, needs to have a certain like reset. And my mother wasn't going on the right path, actually. In the last 7 years ago, she started drinking alcohol because of, I guess, she was feeling sad of her past, and and pretty depressing. So she was getting herself into alcohol and very unhealthy foods, the cigarettes lifestyle that I would never support. So when she got diagnosed with cancer, she called me, and she thought I have 6 months left to live. And prior she got diagnosed with cancer, I was actually asking God for a year straight, what is my purpose in life? And I felt so mad at God. It's like, why he's not telling me? It's been a year I've been trying to figure out my purpose because I know I'm not serving my purpose on this earth. So when actually my mother called me and she said she got cancer, I immediately saw the vision that actually happened, what we have today. Her being completely cured, which is I dedicated my life towards that. Her being super healthy, no alcohol, no cigarettes, our bond together, our relationship together. And then I saw myself as a person helping thousands of people across the globe to actually experience natural health, holistic medicine, and overcome disease. So I think it was a big change for her and me. At the same time, my message got answered finally, from that I was asking God to tell me what's my purpose. And at the same time, my mother was able to transform and to bring in the world lots of light and love and evidence how you can get better and healthier without chemotherapy and radiation.
That's wonderful. So share more about your story of coming to America and following your dreams and leaving your family and friends, which was a really big decision for you. Then you hit rock bottom, you were homeless, and your personal transformation, your American dream story. I want people out there to understand, what was your American dream story and what happened? Explain, give everyone the little backdrop of who you are.
Started with lots of pain. And when I came to America, I actually never planned to stay here or live in this country. I was simply visiting the country, and I met a gentleman, and, he represented the idea of being as a family, and, he told me he really loves me and cares about me. So I decided to stay for that relationship, which is, again, just imagine if you go on vacation and you're just like all of a sudden not coming back home. And as you know, in America, if you don't take care of your immigration status, nobody knows when you're going to be able to come back home. So it's very like, you can't just go back home and visit. And it's like, I miss my family. I can see you guys now. So that was the challenging part, but I did stay. I ended up staying here because of my relationship. My past relationship. And that relationship actually wasn't going too well. From the moment I lost status in this country, that's where like certain control came in place, and multiple other things that we can have a discussion long next time or something like that. So again, when I end up be done with that relationship, I was not just homeless. I had no status in this country. I couldn't prove who I am. I didn't have like credit cards or no physical ID to show my identity, to rent an apartment or even get a job. And because I was going through such a challenges, and there was a lot of like help involved from like police stations and a lot of protections and stuff like that. So people, they're not afraid to hire me as a person, but they're afraid of that internal situation that was happening around me because certain people tried to hurt me so much. So with that being said, like I kept losing these jobs, and they said, Inesa, we love you as a person, like you're amazing. I was really trying to babysit because you can't really do much, like your English is not perfect at that time. And then it was a lots of challenges. I even, to the one point, I had to just to pay the bills to even work in the construction, and at this point you will take whatever it takes as long as it's a legal job and it pays you something. So I was in really a bad spot, I would say. And because I was so naive and I was so, like, I would say innocent, like the heart was so open, and I just believed light doesn't exist, chi doesn't exist. All these people, not all, but a lot of them, simply took advantage of me because it was such a easy bread and butter for them. Like she's just available, like her heart is fully open and you can do whatever you want. So I had to go through a lot of challenges also to understand, yes, people can lie and people can use for their own need or certain situations. So I had to learn that the hard way. But what's the most beautiful thing for me personally in that story, that every time I got hurt or devastated, I just became a better person. And when I see better, I said, oh, okay, now I know how this pain feels. I have to make sure I will never ever give this pain to anyone. And if anybody ever experiences this kind of type of pain, I have to make sure I'll do whatever it takes to stop that. Mm-hmm. So when people took advantage of me, like, it's sensitive because I remember now. Like it's gone. I was able to work on myself a lot, and today I wouldn't change an inch or second of my life. I really admire my past and how I was able to overcome that, but it was beautiful because it gave me such a close experience towards that pain, where like I have to make sure no one experienced that because it's so devastating. It's so hard. So yeah, it wasn't easy. The journey was quite a little bit a journey, I would say. But I was just very, being very on top. Like I never took no for an answer. I said I'll do whatever it takes. Even I had no car to one point. I decided to walk 6 hours to the job interview. I literally just did whatever it takes. That's it. And after I was really improving myself and changing my status and situation, that's where life started turning into the better place for me and people recognizing my hard work and integrity. So I was able to kind of push myself for the better position. So to answer your question, American Dream didn't start as American Dream. It started as American pain, I would say, that builds you as a strong person. And today I feel I can move mountains. And I think when I got my life finally settled, I was able to overcome my own disease. Also, I was very sick since the childhood. I was just only wanted to know one thing: what is my purpose? And when my mom told me she got cancer, I said, let's rock and roll. Like, this is the best day in my life. And she's like, what do you mean it's the best days? She literally had to FaceTime me because she wasn't sure if I'm sleeping talking or something. So again, it's a beautiful journey, I would say, and it is a dream. It's American dream.
Do you see that why this is one of the best countries in the planet? Because what I love about our country is it gives you the opportunity not only for freedom, but the ability to create the life that you want, the dreams that you had as a kid, to be able to express yourself and live within your values. That's one of the best things that we take for granted living in the United States, is that we have the opportunity to create the life of our dreams. And that is so powerful when you're a child, knowing that you can come to the United States and become the person that you've always wanted to be. And that's what's so amazing about you, is that you are developing into your childhood dreams, your ability to serve people. So you describe yourself as an empath, okay? People person, passionate about helping those around me live healthy, fulfilled lives, which I love. Earlier in your life, it seems that you hadn't found the right way to channel your talents in a professional way until you discovered hemp, which is now your expertise. Share more about why hemp became your calling, and then what's your mission with Nesa's Hemp?
Yeah, I think it's a great question. I was able to help myself to overcome very critical disease. Also, I had since my early childhood, and we didn't know any better. Parents were taught to just give antibiotics, and more pills you take, the worse it gets. To the point, yes, they do help you for that certain period of time, but eventually it turns into a situation where like it's vicious cycle. Like more pills you take, more you need, more side effects you have. And I was on that situation where it was a vicious cycle. I was in emergency room once a month, and I couldn't breathe, and I had all kinds of kidney issues. So I started doing some changes. I said, wait a minute, as you said, we live in the best country in the world, and every opportunity is here. Like, for you not to succeed here, it's then you're not gonna succeed anywhere else because everything is here. So I said, wait a minute, this industry, the medical industry, no longer serving my health. So I decided to really look around, because as we live in America, everything is available. You have it all here. So I started looking around, and I started, changing my diet, my habits, and just certain even situations in my life. And guess what? I started improving it. And from the moment I start improving it, when you are in so much pain every single day, that one little drop of feeling good 1 second a day, it turns into the most beautiful event. And from the moment you have that, that gets you going. So I really start changing my complete lifestyle and everything about that, because I started having a hope. So I kind of knew that the holistic medicine, the natural foods, and watching what you eat, and food is your medicine, I knew is the answer to health, because that's how I was able to transform my own. So I believed in the God's plants. So plants has been always my passion, and I've been working with them for a very long time. Then my mother got cancer. All what I did, I spent over thousands of hours on cancer research worldwide, and herbs and plant medicine was one of those main things we actually used for her to overcome the health challenge. But then there is many plants out there, but which one is your favorite, right? And when I learned about the hemp, and it's like, wait a minute, we have all those healing benefits from this hemp plant. Wait a minute, we can cover hundreds and hundreds of symptoms in the human body. And on the top, we have all this called endocannabinoid system that God gave us. Say, here's your gift to your body, which is endocannabinoid system. The endocannabinoid system is something what we have it's part of us and mimics the plant. That means what's in the plant is very similar what's in our bodies. You like it or you don't, just like your liver, you have it. So, and I started really researching hemp plant, because I already knew it's helping my mom, already knew it's helping a lot of people. And that's where I chose the hemp plant. I said, this is a king of the kings. And simply was looking for the best products on the market so I can share with my clients and the people I was working with. And I started investigating the industry. And the more investigations I did on the industry, it worse it got. And that's where my devastation became a mission, I would say. I said, I visited all the actually hemp plant facilities, growers, labs in the country. I said, show me, don't tell me. I want to know what's in these bottles. Industry is not regulated. That means you can put whatever you want to put in that bottle and sell as labeled CBD. Industry have zero regulation. So at this point, when I learned what's in these bottles, and when I learned the CBD is not even in a plant, it's manufactured molecular structure, it's not even fully biological molecule, I'm like, we're missing.
So it's not natural?
It's not. It's a drug.
Okay.
It's patented as a drug. It's just not regulated at the moment. That's why a lot of people have a lot of side effects. So the hemp plant itself, it's beautiful and powerful. But what the whole industry is doing has nothing to do with the hemp plant. And that's where I knew I have to do something about it. And that's why I consulted myself with the world top leaders in the cannabis space, and researchers, and Dr. Raphael from Israel. And I said, I want to found the hemp plant or the product that have every single healing compound, the weights and the plant structure in a finished bottle.
Fantastic. I love that. So many of my listeners aren't really familiar with hemp and its medical benefits. Share more about the therapeutic benefits that you touched on, and how does it impact well-being?
So what the really hemp plant does, only if it's a right product, because it's a definition, right? Especially right now when there's no regulations. But if you're using the right product, it should really empower your endocannabinoid system as a first thing, which is your second immunity. As you know, if you have high immunity, you most likely will be less affected by disease, and you can be able to overcome disease also easier. So what happens is with the hemp plant, again, it's so wide and it's so strong and beneficial, where I need to almost like narrow myself down. Empowers your endocannabinoid system. And endocannabinoid system actually helps to control your nervous system. And if you control all the nervous system, that means all the signals in the body that actually you send, how to control your organs, your vision, your everything, it's getting into balance. So now you're basically empowering the whole nervous system just by taking hemp, right? But then what the hemp plant does is antiviral, antibacterial also, and anti-inflammation. So as we know, root of the cause for almost all disease is inflammation. So what the hemp does comes under that inflammation and starts removing it, killing it, and killing it. So whatever actually disease you have under that inflammation, it actually helps to recover for people pretty fast, because again, each person is a little bit different. Some people maybe have some liver situation, some people have gut, anxiety, for example. I just wrote an article yesterday for some media channels. Most people think that anxiety is just another disease. No, it's your brain actually is full of inflammation, and when you have a stress actually triggers that inflammation, and then you turn as a side effect into anxiety. So, and when a hemp plant goes under the inflammation umbrella, automatically anxiety helps to improve the anxiety. So again, it's such a wide, it's pain, it's sleep, it really goes in your body. That's why I say it's a king of the kings as a plant from all the plants out there, because it really covers almost all disease I know.
Unbelievable. I mean, really what you're touching on is, heal your brain, your mind and your body connect. And if you could provide a healthy solution to that connection, which hemp does, you can solve a lot of issues, a lot of disease. Because a lot of disease is created from your mind. And most people don't know that. That's fantastic. Thank you so much for sharing that. So in your view, why is there a social stigma around hemp? Is it the same in Lithuania and the U.S.?
I would say in Lithuania it's even worse, because people are so not open-minded. That's why I love America for so many reasons. This country is the best of the best. I literally can kiss the ground all day long. It's just like my country. And so Lithuania is even worse, I would say. But the reason the whole stigma was created is, just think about this. If we gave this bottle today for the whole country, what would happen to pharmaceutical industry?
It would collapse.
Immediately. Because people start seeing results almost right away. So something that collapses immediately, that actually holds so much money and power. So guess who actually decided to criminalize this plant over 70 years ago? And said nobody should know about this plant. Let's really say it's criminal, it's bad. Let's start throwing people in jail. Let's start create that stigma, as you say, right? Mm-hmm. It's the same people that actually owns that pharmaceutical industry. Mm-hmm. So wait a minute. So because they knew the plant itself, if people are gonna take this plant and sustain in their lifestyle, there's gonna be no disease. And if there's no disease, there's no money can be made from these people.
Interesting. When you were younger, did you ever feel any reluctance to enter the field because of the stigma from friends or family? Did anyone influence you and say, you can't do this. This is not a good idea?
Yes, they did. Mm-hmm. But my reaction was like, you don't know what you're talking about. And if you don't know, I don't want you to impact me, because I see results daily in people's lives. And the results are so beautiful where people say, thank you for saving my life. So how I can give up something where I see transformation daily and people are in tears from joy getting their lives back because somebody thinks that is not supposed to be done.
So you're living in your highest values, serving people. And you were able to tell people, you know what, this is the right thing to do. This is who I am.
Exactly.
What do you say to people who are at least somewhat open-minded but hadn't seriously considered CBDA before speaking with you? What tend to be their reservations?
I think what I always like to tell people is, like, wait a minute, like, maybe you don't like the CBD or CBDA or even hemp and you think it's criminal. And again, by the way, I'm very against THCs. I'm never smoked weed in my life. I think that stuff is completely not supposed to be in people's bodies or smokable, or it's really a disaster what's happening there. So I'm not pro THC, okay? But And that's what I tell people all the time. If you take the right plant, it's not supposed to make you high. And if you take the right plant, it's supposed to heal you. And it's fine if you still think it's bad for you, but I want to tell you something. You like it or you don't, you already have this plant in you, basically, by having this endocannabinoid system receptors. You mimicking this plant, you are part of this plant. It's in you, just like you have these receptors in your tongue for sweet and sour and so if you're rejecting something what's part of you, then eventually you understand. And I think the reason we're still missing information is because of that stigma, as you say. There's no regulations right now, and there's no complete legalization at the moment, which is very, very sad. And people are not allowed to know still. Even products are marketed, but what kind of products are marketed? The ones are full of mold and pesticides, herbicides, and that's going to actually harm you even more.
So you're in favor of the plant, but you need to use the best parts of the plant for your benefit. That's what you're saying. There's certain parts of the plant that are toxic, not good for you, but the parts that you use can help solve issues and challenges you have within your body and your life. So you talk a lot about your efforts to destigmatize the hemp oil industry. What ways do you focus your energy to help give the industry a different face now?
So my main goal is to really educate people, because I feel like, okay, if we educated people and they know better, nobody can trick them anymore.
Right.
If they're gonna go to any of those grocery stores or whatever gas stations where they decide to buy all these, in some cases, very poison products on the market, they can be tricked. So for me, it's all about education. I know it's the very hard road I chose to take, and it's not easy until today, but education is the main key. Like teaching people what's supposed to be in your bottle, how to read the lab results, which lab results are fake, which ones are real, and just teaching people, because when you have a lot of educated people, you can't trick them anymore. As you know, knowledge is a power.
It's very powerful, and that's so well said. So share your perspective on some of the substandard practices and products of many hemp CBD competitors you see.
Fast production, fast grow, which is hemp plant itself is a soil cleaner naturally, right? It's just a part of nature. So what happens is, if the hemp plant was grown for medicinal purposes, and this hemp plant as a natural functionality is a soil cleaner, that means grabs every single heavy metal and all those toxic things are in the soil, already sucks in the hemp plant. But wait a minute, that hemp plant's supposed to be a medicine. Now it's full of toxins. So in order to grow these plants very, very clean, you have to have absolutely beyond belief, beyond organic, beyond any certification soil. You have to watch what's landing from the sky, what kind of waters you put in, and you have to have very, very clean soil in order for these plants to grow for medicinal purposes. If you grow these plants for building homes or clothing line, maybe it's a different story. But still, why you want to have toxins in it? So what industry is doing, it's mass production. Mass production, and after that, what they do, they actually use the solvents, gases, and temperatures to actually, this beautiful raw plant turn into CBD isolates, and turns, I don't know if you ever seen it, CBD isolate, it turns into like a white powder. So plant itself is green, and as a finished result, as a finished bottle, it turns white powder-ish, and then they put all kinds of different liquids in it. So if you turn green plant into the white powder, so what kind of processes you need to use? If those good for the plant, if those good for a kidney, if those good are actually for your liver. And that's why a lot of people have say, Inesa, I used so many CBDs, I used the best ones on the market, did not help, or gave me anxiety. Yes, because there's no regulations, and those are full of mold, pesticides, herbicides, and all kinds of heavy metals and multiple other toxins are dangerous in the first place.
That's really interesting. So You mentioned one of your blogs that you grew tired of observing disastrous effects of unregulated and substandard CBD on your clients, and that you realized that many of the oils that claim to be organic or all natural were quite the opposite. So the problem with CBD is that the way we're manufacturing is we are putting chemicals to produce a result that's not really producing a result, but it's causing harm in your body. And metals in your body, an excessive amount, can cause significant damage. Is that what is going on with CBD in their industry?
Majority companies, yes.
Okay.
There's probably a few who's trying their best, and they're still misguided because there's lots of misinformation out there. And as I met few company owners, I met a lot, but few straight toward, they literally told me to my face, Inesa, we make products for sale, not for consume. So that means our goal to sell, but they're really not supposed to be
So
consuming.
it's about the bottom line, not about helping people get better.
No, it's not.
And that seems to be an issue that we see in our pharmaceutical industry within the United States and even around the world. So how have you looked at tackle this industry differently with Nesa's hemp? Can you share more about the science of approach to extraction and why it's better, rigorous third-party testing, full transparency, which you're a big proponent of, and what you call your unrelenting pursuit of perfection, which is so important to you?
Yes. Thank you. That's my favorite question. How much time you have?
Hey, we're in studio. You got all the time you want. This is your floor. Go ahead.
Yeah. So my goal was to develop the soil where I can grow these beautiful girls in the healthiest home so I can nurture them. Because more you nurture these plants, more powerful they are in the healing perspective for people. So the way we actually approach this whole thing, it's quite complicated, and it takes over 6 weeks just to produce one batch. But creating a biological cleanest soil, that's number one. Extraction processes is very critical. The way we extract our plants, we keep all those living compounds in the plant and we barely touch it. We touch it, but we don't touch it. It's a complicated process. We're still under the patents. We're working to patent the whole technology. So when that's done, I would be even happy to videotape. But we're able to keep all the heartbeat in the plant during the extraction process. Our harvest process, for example. I don't allow any technology to be on the fields. So I don't want any metals, any cutting machines, none of that stuff. I ask people to come and handcraft, harvest our plants. With that being said, I really believe in frequency and energy. So if you are the person that actually, I know you negative or drinking alcohol a lot or doing certain negative things in the world, you're not allowed to harvest these plants. I'm simply selecting the people who are the best match, who can pass the best energy. Because before we harvest them, I go on my knees, I pray, and I ask the plants to do the job. And they truly, truly talking to me. So what we really do, we grow the healthiest plants. That's number one. Mm-hmm. We extract them in the way where we keep all those healing benefits in the highest power, including we never lose the heartbeat of the plant. And the way we bottle, we have these bottles specifically right here. Mm-hmm. Those are the highest quality bottles in the world and 10 times more expensive than regular bottle. Why? Because they protect the heartbeat. You can put this in the sunlight all day long and it's still going to be fine because the heartbeat is protected. So only one time this plant gets activated for first time ever, it's in your body. When you put under the tongue or on your skin, the best is under the tongue, mm-hmm. That's where the magic happens. And the plant gets activated for first time. Not in the soil, not in the harvest, not an extraction, in your mouth. Mm. So we keep that virginity of the plant until the person grabs it and puts in their mouth. So as a result, we see, as you see, we have a batch number. Mm-hmm. So each person, it's on the bottom.
Okay.
You can actually go on our site and read in parts per billion testing from every possible toxin what's in this specific bottle. So we try to be very transparent with our people. And sometimes there's not enough time to really educate every person that buys the bottle. I say, please look in our lab results, look in our batch numbers, and you go on the site, those are public, and you read exactly what's in your bottle.
So one of my favorite terms you use that is resonates with me is you describe yourself as a wellpreneur, a little spin-off of entrepreneur, which is a cool term. I haven't heard that before. Share more about what this means in practice for you and the kind of trade-offs you make now that you weren't making earlier in your career.
That's a deep question.
Well, we're going deep here on the I Own It show, so let's do it. Let's go deep on this.
I see things from very deep perspective. And I never like to fly on the top on the waters. I like to go all the way in the bottom, change all the bottom, so automatically the top of the water is gonna just light it up.
Right.
So anything I do where I can go into major transformation, where I make a huge difference, I wouldn't touch it.
Okay.
So if I'll choose to do something, it's going to be a project, it's going to be long term, and it's going to be from the bottoms up. So from inside to out. So, but what I personally, I wish I knew earlier. And I would never allow people to use my time anymore. I choose who is allowed to actually use my time. Because before I was trying, I'm just gonna help everybody. I'm gonna do my best I can. And even some people, they think they wanna be helped, but they really don't. They just think, but they're not ready. So what I used to do, I used to spend my days and nights on those people. Now, I'm not saying all of them. So today, I wish I knew earlier, like I learned that earlier, but I really analyze who is going to be on my list and where we can change everything from the bottom to all the way up. So, and the people are not ready yet. They will be ready eventually. And I'm still going to go back to them and help them because I really believe not leaving anybody offshore. Like we need to take all of us and help all the people. So except the ones are not ready to be helped, you leave them alone.
There's a lot of people that need help in our society. And I think both you and I have shared that together. Is it challenging to mass produce what you produce because your knowledge, having the right energy to be able to heal, to have the ability to provide enough product for these people, that has to be a big challenge in this mission of yours. How do you feel about that?
Challenge is part of day I was born.
Okay.
It's
I
not
like
something, I, for some reason, if I don't have a challenge, I feel like, wait a minute, like what's going on in this week? Like everything, it looks too easy. Everything has been a challenging, I'm not gonna lie. But what I really love about my life or something is about me, I don't know. I truly have a solution for everything, like everything. So sometimes when my employees call me early morning, which is, I know some of them starts at 9 in the morning and they call me at 8 and say, oh my gosh, we have a problem. I said, listen, I don't even need to know what the problem is or what you're calling that situation as a problem. I can promise you we have a solution. I said, now come down, take a breath and tell me what's going on.
Right. Okay. Well, I wanted to touch on this because I've read your blogs, and in one of your blogs you wrote, this is just the beginning of Nesa's Hemp. My ultimate goal is to lead a holistic revolution and to encourage healthy, natural living. Share more about that vision of both your company and also your industry. What do you want to see happen?
I'm not going to see it happen. I'm just going to make it happen.
Okay. You're going to create it.
I'm creating it.
Okay.
As we're speaking.
And how are we doing that?
Every day, touching lives. And I tell people all the time, please stop telling me how to do things. Just show me. Stop telling people how to love another or respect. Just show it. So all what I'm doing, showing it. Yes, sometimes, as I said, certain people are not ready today, so we're gonna come back to these people a little bit later, or they're gonna come back to us. But for example, for me, I know for a fact, now it's a fact, because I worked with hundreds or not of thousands of people. I helped in their health conditions, including so many cancers. Like, we have so many cancers we helped where they had no hope left, right? And now it's my own data. It's my own experience. I know for a fact you choose to be sick. And if you know better, if somebody showed you, you choose to be healthy. It's that simple. So I say, I can tell people all day long, say, oh my gosh, she's just probably trying to sell some product. No, I'm just gonna create each success cases where your neighbor will be cured from something, your mom will be transformed, and now everybody knows that person was dying or that person had miserable situation, and they're gonna start asking, what happened to you? How did you change? I thought you're supposed to be dying. Like, well, how come you're perfectly fine? So you create these evidence by example. You're educating people, but they don't hear it until they see it, until it touches them.
Mm-hmm.
So that's exactly what I'm doing. I'm creating those cases everywhere, just like my children. I'm growing my own kids everywhere.
That's fantastic. So we're all works in progress, as you know. Was there ever a time that you didn't own it? You know, the name of our show is Owning It and Being Responsible, which is really touching on what you do for your career. What was the moment you could look back and say, I didn't own this? Share that with everyone.
I don't know. It's a very complicated question.
Yeah.
I know it's not an answer, but as I said, my journey was quite interesting.
Mm-hmm.
And in some moments, I feel like I'm gifted with certain knowledge. I just know it. And then I said, wait a minute, how can I know these things? So let me call my Harvard doctor. He's the multiple degrees in, let me confirm with him what he has to say. And then I would ask and get the confirmation. And so, as I said, there's so many challenges I had to go through where sometimes I don't know even it's me did it all. Like, I have to really look back and say, who is doing this whole work? So it's a very deep question. I think I can talk for a while about it. So maybe for next time.
Okay. A cliffhanger so you can come back.
Probably.
All right. In 2023, we will have you back.
Thank you.
So we're going to wrap up with our 3 questions. Are you ready? Huh?
I was born ready.
Okay, I love it. Oh, what a great attitude you have. So we normally have a couch right here.
Okay.
And you are a sophisticated, educated, intelligent woman that you've grown into from the little girl you came here from Lithuania, which is incredible. You have an incredible story, an incredible demeanor and energy behind you. You're sitting on the couch, and I said, Nesa, get on the couch, lay down, close your eyes, roll yourself back to when you were 16 years old, and you can give yourself some knowledge and advice from where you are now in your life, in your career, and what you've learned. What would you tell your 16-year-old self today?
I would never allow anyone to limit me because I know I'm unlimited.
That's right.
Yeah.
Great answer.
Thank you.
Anything else you want to tell your 16-year-old self?
Since when you are unlimited, like, you can achieve whatever you want. You can move the mountain. You can shake the oceans. You can create a revolution. You create a legacy. And if you know that, and if you truly believe in that, then you have it all.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's our last day on earth. God forbid. We're together. It's our last meal together. What are we eating and what are we drinking? It's your choice. Go ahead. Lay it on me. Now, by the way, I know you're healthy, and I am too. So whatever you're bringing, we could eat together. So let's hear it. I want to hear your answer here.
Because yes, you're right.
By the way, because you are so healthy, you can go the other way. I mean, you could do like a ribeye. I mean, you can get crazy on me.
I probably would eat the things I never allow myself to eat, which is a lot of things I
Okay.
don't. It would be Hawaiian pizza from Italy
Okay.
with pineapples and turkey, and that would be one. And the second meal would be, oh gosh, now I want it all.
Okay. Well, let's go.
The second, it would be a good like cake with the caramel and lots of sugar in it.
You haven't had sugar in so long. I think your body would say, "What is going on here?" So, what are we washing it down with? This wonderful food we're having.
Since I drink waters and teas only, I probably would go for, and I don't drink alcohol at
Right,
all,
right.
so I would go for really good quality wine.
Okay.
Yes.
I'm with you. A good Italian red we can do? Yeah. Okay. Now we're talking. So in the studio, you can see around you, we have electric guitars, drum set, and a grand piano. You can have any musician or band come in the studio with us to play us a song. Who are you inviting in the studio to play you and I a song? It could be anyone, deceased, living, you name it.
Probably, not probably, actually, I know exactly who would it be. I was even thinking to have her one day in my life
Okay.
to play for me. Laura Pausini.
Oh, from Italy, the Italian star.
You know, how do you know her?
Come on, I'm well rounded.
Nobody knows her.
This is my show. Not your show. This
Now
is my
I
show.
see it.
That's right. Yeah, she's a famous Italian pop star.
She is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
It would be her. Her voice
All
is so
right.
powerful.
That would be great. I think she might blow out the windows though. So we'd have to figure that out because she can go on and she has a great pitch to her. So very powerful.
Can't believe you know her.
Well, let me ask you something. What's the best way to follow you so people can get engaged and learn about Nesa's hemp and all the value that you bring to society to help people cure their diseases, live a better life, and really just enjoy life to the fullest by being healthy? So how do people follow you? Because your brand and your name is going to start growing, and it starts now. So what is the best way to engage with you and follow you? Is it your website? Is it social media? Is it give me the info that you could share with everyone.
The most active one, I would say, it's our Nesa's hemp website, NESAS. But I was convinced that I need to have active social media. So I am very keep my life very private. I don't post a lot, but I just actually opened an account under my name on Instagram that I'm planning to do a lot of my life and what I do. And it's not going to be related towards the product. It's more towards how we transforming the world with love and how we creating cases based on the actions that we do and how we transforming everything. So Instagram would be probably Inesa Ponomariovaite, which is under my last name.
Whoa, that's a mouthful. It's let me just clarify. Is it Inesa with the I you're putting it under, or just Nesa?
Inesa.
Okay, so it's Inesa Ponomariovaite for all you folks out there. You could Google her name, you'll be able to find it. And her name of her company is called Nesa's Hemp. And I have tried her product. I am a fan of her product, and it's been a blessing to me because I didn't really understand or know her product till recently. So thank you for sharing with me and improving my health. And I encourage anyone out there listening, try it. See how it impacts your life. See how it impacts your health. And if it does in a positive way, share it. Share it with others and share that love that she's providing in every single bottle that she produces. So thank you. Thank you so much for contributing. Thank you so much for serving others. I love it. I think it's great. Keep doing it. Keep inspiring. Keep figuring out how to improve not only your products, but come up with other SKUs and other products you can offer to the world. So I really appreciate it. If you are interested in following the Ben Reinberg I Own It show, drop kick that right-hand button and like this show as well as our other shows and click subscribe. Feel free to follow me on all different platforms on social media at benreinberg.com. And for all your commercial real estate needs, go to alliancecgc.com and learn about commercial real estate. If you're interested in investing in our new Alliance Medical Property Fund, feel free to go on to our corporate website and see how we can help you build the life of your dreams. I am going to be teaching commercial real estate, how you can invest in commercial real estate all throughout the world in 2023. So stay tuned for that. I'm very excited to share what I do so you can build wealth and live the life of your dreams as you move forward in life. So Inesa, thank you so much for coming to Laguna Beach. You are such a pleasure, such a treat to our society and what you do. And I'm very grateful. So thanks again for coming on.
Thank you so much for having me here today.
All right.
Thank you for listening to the I Own It podcast with Ben Reinberg. To hear our past episodes and connect with Ben, visit benreinberg.com.